I have to stay alive and write this article before I die.
Okay.
Hey everybody, this is TMG Podcast. This is episode 10. This is Carlos, and with me is the usual, Will.
Yo!
And Miggy.
Hey Internet, what's up?
And today we were going to talk about Sony. Because something special came out.
Yep,
A big black box with no games. That's what came
Big
out.
black box that people are raving about.
Fair. It's got some games.
That have some
A black
games.
box that wobbles. Yeah.
That wobbles. Oh, I have to change my chair. Crap.
The wobble
But yeah.
Station 4.
Well, it's not really a big problem. But anyway, yeah. Just like in the previous episode, we talked about Nintendo, but now we're going to talk about Sony, the PlayStation 3.
Yep.
Its ups and downs, its history, and I guess its successes at the same time, because it's actually a pretty nice system, the PlayStation 3. And what a perfect time to talk about it, since the PS4 was just released in North America just yesterday?
Yeah, a few days ago only.
Technically, it was yesterday, yeah.
Oh, technically yesterday, yeah. We're in the
And we're
future.
going to follow the same format too. We'll do the news first, and then we'll talk about the PS3 in the second half.
Yes, the whole PlayStation 3 talk will be on the second half. Right now, we'll just do the usual. Who wants to start with who's playing what? Or
I played a lot this week, actually.
You go ahead then.
Apart from Battlefield, I went ahead and I finished Arkham Origins, the newest Batman. And that was enjoyable. It wasn't particularly anything new to that formula. I mean, it was, there wasn't anything majorly different. The villains were interesting. I think it had probably the best version of the Joker so far in the Arkham series.
It's the whole Batman and Joker thing. That was actually like their first meeting, in a sense, right?
Yeah, it was. This is their first meeting here. It's because it is a prequel, so it shows a bit just how Joker and Batman sort of developed the relationship that they do have. Which is really dysfunctional, but it was a overall pretty fun game. All the same issues as the previous ones. Like, I still think there's way too many Riddler things to do. But
I have to agree with that. Yeah.
Other than that, still pretty fun. What else did I play? I finished Call of Duty Ghosts, the single player. And
The single player, and how was that?
Not that great, honestly. It felt kind of tired already. Like, it just wasn't as exciting as it used to be anymore. And all the set pieces were all kind of the same, Oh, there's an oil rig. Oh, there's an aircraft carrier. Oh, you're in the junk. There's nothing. I think they had some sections in outer space that was kind of neat, but.
Wait, yeah, I remember that scene in the trailer. It's like, is that even possible? You can actually shoot in space?
Well, apparently in the Call of Duty world it is.
That's kind of crazy. I don't understand.
And for all the effort they put into saying we got a mocap dog and we have fish that move realistic. You never notice that shit.
Mocap fish.
Oh, I laughed so hard when they said the whole realistic fish, that actually when you swim underwater, the fish will go away and react just like any other fish. And I was like, are you seriously saying that you have great fish AI on Call of Duty?
Yeah.
And then I remember
What's the video of Mario 64?
Exactly.
Where you swim underwater and the fish go away.
What was that? Next gen graphics or next gen systems or something. It was hilarious.
Fish,
yeah, exactly. So I was really kind of disappointed. The dog didn't do it for me. The dog doesn't even half the game. The dog's not even with you. So the dog doesn't really play as big a part as you think. There's a lot of other Call of Duty games have segments where you're driving a tank or you're driving a helicopter or you're piloting a UAV or whatever. This one seems to have a lot of those kind of segments thrown in. When
I was watching a couple of reviews, that's what I saw as well.
I feel like they just didn't have enough meat to really extend the story. So let's throw in a tank driving section, or shit like that.
No, but I'm actually not surprised because like even though it's like Call of Duty, Battlefield, I don't know, Medal of Honor, whatever modern shooter, like I don't think there's anything left that they can surprise us with, as much as they put a dog or whatever.
Whatever I did find surprising was the bad guys now are South Americans or Latinos. They're not.
Oh, that's surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, they fit. They're done with the Arabs, the Russians. They're done with that. Now they're the Latinos are the bad guys. So.
Wait, you haven't finished Battlefield 4 yet, right?
No, I haven't. I can't be bothered, honestly.
I'm not spoiling anything, but they actually placed a Russian there for the sake of putting a Russian.
Oh, I got to that part. Yeah, I did get to that part when.
Okay, because that was hilarious. Because I was like saying like you actually put a Russian for no reason. Because that's what actually happened. Like they put a Russian, bam, that's it, and there's no reason why. And I don't even know why you're in Russian. I forgot already. But yeah, how long was the single player campaign for Call of Duty?
Not that long at all. I think I finished it in maybe 6 to 8 hours, I guess. It wasn't very long. I didn't feel it was very long. Obviously I didn't bother like exploring around. There's not much to explore. It's the same formula, really. It's go A to B, and in between there's a few arenas and you have to shoot everyone that moves.
On rail linear.
Yeah, it's very. I do have to say though that this is probably the best looking Call of Duty game to date. It really does look nice.
Okay. And this is you playing on the PC.
Yeah, on the PC. This is with all the bells and whistles basically, but it does really look quite nice for such an old game engine.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same game engine that they've been using since, if I'm correct, Modern Warfare 2 maybe. I'm not too sure. Or did it make an upgrade?
I'm not familiar, but I know it's a rather it's an aging system, so that was
we've reached a point in gaming where it's not really about poly counts anymore. It's more about who has the highest textures. So even
high resolution textures.
Pretty,
well, David Cage would have to disagree on that, but
that guy doesn't know video games.
No, anyway, so the last game I finished, well, not really game, I finished the Buried at Sea DLC for BioShock Infinite, which was quite short.
Oh, how was that?
Finished that in 3 hours. It's okay. I mean, it's still about Booker and his, weirdo relation. It's weird. I just don't know how to explain it. I guess it was cool to see Rapture again, though, in, using the slightly higher, using in its heyday when it was still kind of pristine and everything.
Mm.
So it was kind of cool to see that. It doesn't feel very Rapture-y, though, because, for example, they threw in skyhooks. For whatever reason.
I found that weird.
There are skyhooks in Rapture.
What?
The melee weapon and the thing that Spider-Man.
I know, but that doesn't make any sense because you're underwater.
Yeah, it's weird.
But they put rails inside the thing, and if you're there's a very tall vertical room, there's rails that go up it. It's like, oh god, this is.
That's a weird design choice.
That just seems lazy as hell. That
does seem lazy.
Yeah.
It would be pretty cool if they actually made Booker pick up a wrench, and that'd be fine.
Or just punch dudes.
Or that.
The skyhook.
Well, I guess I will say for everything, the ending is makes me want to find out what happened in the next episode. It leaves things hanging that way. So.
But is it worth the wait? Because we're talking about a season pass that's been long overdue in terms of releasing content.
I can't.
Whoever bought it.
It's hard to say, yeah, because BioShock in general is not known for its gameplay. It's as a shooter, it's still I find it a bit lacking. I think I'm the only one who likes the combat. It's always been more about the atmosphere and the story, and I guess.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah.
This gets it down, but it's nothing new because it's Rapture. We've been to Rapture. We've dealt with Rapture before, but it's cool to see again. They make reference to Andrew Ryan, Jack Fontaine. Dr. Tenenbaum, all these old characters that we are familiar. You should be familiar with if you played the previous BioShocks.
How long was the DLC?
Just a few hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours if you go through it.
2 to 3 hours?
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
I believe the average is 90 minutes. An hour and a half to 2 hours.
Because I was actually thinking of buying it for my Xbox 360, because that's the reason why I still have BioShock Infinite in my console, because I would really like to play the DLC, and that's $15 for 2 to 3 hours.
Well, you don't have the option to getting the season pass anymore, or
Well, I don't see the point, because I don't want that whole arena content.
yeah, that's true. The only thing that you get with the season pass is, I think, Clash in the
Pretty-
Clouds and Buried at Sea.
Pretty much, yeah. And and Buried at Sea, Clash of the Clouds, and episode 2, which is, I forgot what it's called. It has a different name.
The one where you play as Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's the second episode, whereas instead of going as Booker DeWitt in episode 1, you play as Elizabeth, and they'll be incorporating, from what I heard, or from what I read, a stealth mechanic where you actually have to hide around. And it's a whole different
Do you
style.
do you get to have to scrounge for items and throw them at Booker? I mean, would that be a mechanic?
Or maybe Booker throws things at you. I don't know. I don't even know if Booker's around.
We'll get to see
During that
Booker's
time.
face.
Yeah, because I saw the image of episode 2 with Elizabeth holding one of those children. What are those names?
The little sisters.
Yeah, little sisters, and she's all banged up and everything. She has a gun. She's holding a gun and everything. So I don't think Booker DeWitt's going to be around the second episode. I don't know.
Yeah, from when I played the first story, the story does have something to do with the multiple realities and something to do with one particular little sister. So it's really I still don't understand what the hell is going on in BioShock Infinite as it is. So
You don't know? I love that. I dissected the hell out of that story. It was amazing for me. I love that.
I liked it up to the
ending.
point when they started introducing multiple realities, and I was just like, oh fuck this shit.
No, but I don't want to go through that whole theory because I actually went through that, and it can be a whole episode. But it was actually a pretty cool ending, which actually got me shocked. So, what about you, Miggy?
Me? I haven't really played much because family things were happening.
Oh yeah.
If
from-
you guys didn't know, my
go
province is in Tacloban, and the super typhoon Yolanda hit it really hard. So yeah, my week has been to helping the family get out and lodging them in here for a few days.
No, but
and
it's
getting out.
good that they're actually out now.
So- Oh yeah. They were just here a while ago, actually. But I did play more of Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh, you're going
I
back
won't
old
talk
school.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the game. It's one of the games I can just casually play with my brain turned off. Because I've beaten it so many times.
I actually want to play Symphony of the Night again. I almost actually bought the collector's edition of
Lords of Shadows.
yeah, the one.
The complete edition of that.
Yeah, I was staring at it and I was like, ooh, that's actually pretty cool. But I ended up with XCOM Enemy Within, so. Well, that was
I'll just wait for the Lords of Shadow collection to go on sale. It's not really a game that's on the top of my list, but I want to play it.
Mirrors of Fate is actually pretty. Well, when I tried out the demo, it's actually pretty cool. But yeah, for me, what I want to talk about is XCOM Enemy Within, which is the expansion. What they consider is an expansion pack for XCOM Enemy Unknown, and it's a great game. It's a great addition to this strategy game. It's actually it gives more meat to the XCOM series, and I'm 430 hours in, and that's I bought it last Friday. So.
And is it what can you load up your old game and then all the stuff? No, you have to start a new one.
No, which full for me. I was actually planning to do that anyway, but whoever's holding back on your saves, I don't know. No, you can't. You just have to start all over again. And it's actually a completely different game.
Okay, so you can't import your old team
No.
or whatever. No, it's completely new. All right.
And it has a different pacing because it had a lot of new gameplay mechanics. Like, for one, you can augment your units with gene.
Yeah, alien genes, right? And stuff
Yeah,
like
alien genes. You can heighten pupils or whatever, and then you can actually put some of your men on like mechs, like those alien like loader mechs.
Oh, that's cool.
Which actually it's pretty cool. And then and they added a new enemies for the aliens. That they have like the Sectoids have their own mechs that they can ride on. The Seeker that goes stealth, they can actually strangle people. There's a lot of cool things that they added into the point that
Does the campaign feel longer though, or
it feels way longer. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear.
I think that the biggest change is the length. Like I said. Before, like I think I've been playing like maybe like my first 10 hours on my first campaign. I'm still like in the first tier of equipment.
Okay, yeah.
And that's long already because they have like a lot of council missions now. They have a lot of council missions. The original maps of the original game is you rarely see it because they added so much maps to the point that when you see an original map, you're actually, oh wow, that's something that I'm familiar with finally. Because they added a lot, and that was like my biggest gripe on the original one, where it had like maybe like less than 15 maps, which was horrible because you're actually going from one country to the next.
Right,
and apparently
right.
they have the same gas station over and over.
But there's also more enemies now. You're also fighting like humans who are like siding with the aliens and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, apparently there's an organization called the Exalt who was trying to. I still don't know the full picture, but they're trying to be. They're siding with the aliens, but they want to take their alien technology as well, and then they sabotage our operations. Like they steal money from me, or so far that's the only sabotage they've done to me. They keep on stealing money from my bank account. It's annoying as hell. But yeah, you fight squads, you fight human beings now in this expansion, and it's actually a good addition to, like, it's a good icebreaker from all the constant aliens. All of a sudden you have to worry about people with a sniper gun, with a sniper rifle, with a rocket and all that. They're not that strong, but it's still a pretty good addition. What else? I don't know, it's a really great game. Whoever likes strategy games, or whoever likes the original one, they should definitely pick this up. I'm still trying to remember if I missed anything in the expansion.
What about like base building? Has there been any changes to that, or?
They added they added like extra, it's the same foundation where it's the same, like one base and then like an ant farm, look.
Right.
They just added the whole augmentation, like,
Can you pick
cybernetics
one
base.
thing? I don't know, it was a small thing that annoyed me in the first one was like I tried to have the most internationally diverse team of operatives as I could. So for me, I liked having like at least one of every nationality, but trying to get all of that was tough. Can you change?
Oh, there, yeah.
Can you change the nationality of your troops now, or are there more nationalities, or like that?
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. That's one of the changes. You can't change the nationality of your squad members. If he's Korean, he's Korean.
Yeah.
But now they added at least 4 languages. They put French, German, Russian,
In English?
English, and Italian, I think. God, I forgot.
Okay, what does the languages do? Like,
No, I mean, it's like instead of like hearing whenever you have a French guy, it's not always like American.
okay.
It's not always when you get a German guy, it's not always like American, like all English. Now, if you go to the options, like if you recruit a German or a Russian, he speaks Russian. He speaks Russian. He speaks. If you get someone from France, he speaks French.
That's cool.
Sadly, there's no Japanese or Korean, which is weird. But I think it's a cool addition because I'm actually sick of the American voice. They also included medals in the game. After each match, you are given a medal. You can actually give award to one of your units, and that actually gives bonuses and all that. So there's a lot to think about now instead of before it's like actually straightforward in terms of character customization. There's a lot more that you can improve your characters, which is actually pretty cool. And what else? But it's a really good game. Aside from Enemy Within, I've been dabbling around Battlefield 4 every now and then just to get a quick.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying BF4 a lot. It's still got all the same. It's got a lot of problems though, like as far as crashing. Like, I know, we hate, Langkang Dam, that particular map, because it always tends to lag once the...
Yeah, whatever EA says about Battlefield 4, they just messed up big time in terms of the netcode or whatever makes their servers work, because it's horrible. Like, I haven't seen... Apparently, like, I'm not too sure if it's true, but the Levolution is the reason why we're having problems. Like, Siege of Shanghai is okay, but if you break that skyscraper, you might have issues. There's like a big chance of it crashing or whatever, and that's horrible. Like it's a big feature for Battlefield 4.
It is for sure.
Can't seem to get it together.
Well, I think eventually they will. I mean, I think BF3 was the same. But I guess this is more so because now, the levels are changing and everything, right? So.
No, that, and then, apparently, like, remember when I was saying I have the machete, but it's useless because I'm still stabbing someone with a knife?
Yeah.
Apparently it's a bug, because I think when I played yesterday, all of a sudden, when I knife someone, I can see the machete and I can see him, like, slice someone's neck with it, and I'm like, where did that come from? Like, did they patch it recently? I'm not too sure what's going on. Like, that game has a lot of things to be fixed. As much as it's a fun game, it's still not 100%. Have you played the multiplayer of Call of Duty?
No, I have not. I kind of want to check
out
out Extinction Mode, but as far as multiplayer goes, I've always been, I've always preferred Battlefield anyways to it. So there's actually very little incentive for me to even touch the multiplayer.
Yeah, my all the talks about Call of Duty is like it's just extensions actually the mode to check out, which is actually pretty short, but it's still the best highlight out of Ghost.
Yep.
So,
is that all we've been playing? Like, is there anything else?
I tried a bit of The Last of Us that I borrowed from a friend.
Oh, so how are you liking it?
It's the same reason I don't like Uncharted 4. It's just the gameplay is just not my thing. I mean, Uncharted
stealth mechanics or the whole shooting?
Both, but like The Last of Us is a better game for me. But I'm still not fond of it's an arena with boxes for you to hide behind. Then
that's really not your thing at all.
10 dudes.
You feel tired when you see 10 people walking.
Yeah, when I see the area, like, oh god, more of this.
Yeah, I remember when you played Uncharted 1, you were like, ugh, it's the same thing again. And then you got so tired.
Yeah, but like Uncharted 1 was worse because they'd send 30 Cubans after you.
30 Cubans.
No, but The Last of Us, that's one game I actually want to pick up when I get a chance, because I hear just great things about the story and like how from start to end.
Yeah, it's polished as super fuck, but like it's just not my thing. So I'll try to play a bit more and see what happens. Like I haven't met the special zombies, like the clickers yet. So
they sound pretty freaky, the clickers, when I saw the demo and all that.
Yeah, I'll have to reach that before I can like give my full opinion on it, at least. So that's it.
Is it? Well, yeah. For me, it's all XCOM, Battlefield 4. That's about it, actually.
Yeah, so, I mean, what's been going on this week, though, as far as news? PlayStation 4 has been released and is selling pretty well, from what I've heard.
It's sold like 1 million units.
A million units in North America already on day one. That's the best ever as far as PlayStation history goes. Here in the Philippines, I've heard that people have been pre-ordering it despite its relatively high cost. For those, who don't know, it's actually much more expensive here for whatever reason we don't know. It's
tax.
It's tax, yeah, but even then it seems like a lot because...
No, because in terms of the Philippines...
It's $400 US, right? So that's about, excuse me. So that's about 18,000 pesos, right?
Yeah.
And then what? We're gonna get an additional $10,000 as tax? That seems really crazy to me.
Because when it comes to devices and phones, consoles, PCs, no matter what, it's always expensive here, and it's no surprise that it will come out maybe 30 to 40. Because I don't think I've ever seen a when a console comes out, it's like less than 20, I guess.
Yeah, I remember the PS2 being around 22,000 when it first came out. So it's the same for everything. But like some shops are estimating it to be 32 to 36,000. That's a bit outrageous.
Yep.
Well, 32. What was the range? 32 to 36? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Like I believe it was Data Blitz. Their estimates for the R1 release is around 32 to 36, and the down payment for your pre-order is around 10,000.
Do you believe when they put an estimate? 'Cause
No.
I really think they just have the price. They just don't want to say it.
Yeah, that's probably how it is. But what can you do, really?
Yeah, 'cause I never understand like what's the price? It's a range from 15 to 25.
But
Like,
yeah,
why would you
despite
give me a
that
range?
price, David Blizzard told me that people have been pre-ordering it. There are pre-orders for it. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see when it comes here how that goes.
Well, yeah, people already throw pre-orders is actually 10,000 here.
But
in
it
the
seems
Philippines.
to be that this is a bit of a lumpy start, so to speak, because despite the sales, we've heard already stories of red lights of death and blue lights of death.
Blue lights of death.
Yeah, and the games, the exclusives aren't too hot right now. So,
Well, that's understandable because they have Knack and only Killzone, and I have. That's about it. Like,
yeah,
well,
that's about
they
it.
have some digital exclusives, like we were talking about it a while ago before the episode. But technically, Knack and Killzone is like the pull to buy the PS4, and well, if you ask me, it's really just Killzone. Knack is just more like if an 18-year-old wants to buy a PS4, you can get that.
Well, Knack looked, Knack was, I had hope for it because it was a new IP, it was a new thing. So, I was kind of hopeful that would be good, but as it turns out.
I was hopeful too, and like a lot of people were saying it was going to be the new Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, or something like that, right? But turns out
Yeah.
it's not doing too well. And apparently there's a bit of a wobble to the PlayStation 4 as well if you put it on its side. I'm not too sure what that is all about, but looks like the system itself hasn't been completely designed properly in that sense if there's a wobble.
I'm not too sure if it's design or is it really true that like
It's
that's
the
just how
placement of
it
the
is.
feet underneath the console, so it's design. It's by design.
So it wobbles by design.
Yes, it's a feature.
Oh boy.
Really? I mean, like it's because I saw that video where you can see someone like poke the PS4 and it tilts. I
think it was Kotaku that showed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Kotaku as
placement
well.
of the
And
feet underneath.
I thought it was
why
like
it wobbles.
I thought it was just a horrible copy of.
Yeah,
like,
I thought like overheating would cause the plastic to warp or something, but it's apparently a design. Oh well. It does what Nintendo.
They sell you like a platform where it won't wobble, like a foam. Like they'll just
Official
like
accessory
$30
PlayStation
case.
4
Yeah.
stand.
$25.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be fantastic.
Can you
But
actually put
apparently
the PS4 up?
I think you can. I think
Yeah, you can.
You can put it
Because I
vertically
heard
as well.
you can't, for like the Xbox One, you can't
Oh,
put
really?
it on its side. So I
Well,
don't know
yeah,
why.
you can't. Like you can't do that also for a VHS. So it's the same thing. I'm sorry, I just don't like the design. It's not like I'm saying I hate Xbox One. It's just I don't like the design. Like
But
it's the same.
design, except that the PS4 is in italic.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It looks
that's
like
true.
a box. It looks like a box.
It's
Well,
a box with a glossy left side and a flat right side.
Yeah.
Like
It's
at
like
least
PS4.
at least the
the-
Except that the
PS4
Xbox
or
One
even
is
the
okay.
Wii U had a little bit of design. Like Xbox One.
Yeah. The red light of death though is an overheating problem, right? That's what I understand it
Yeah.
to be.
That's what I heard. So like
Oh,
if
wow.
it
So
lights
it's
up
already
red, this
overheating.
needle- Yeah, that's not a good thing.
That is definitely not a good thing. And what I'm worried about if Sony's having this much trouble at their launch,
So I'm hearing the statement that
Xbox is probably going to be even worse. But we'll see.
no, I'm sure Xbox. I'm sure both consoles have the same issues because Sony placed a statement where they expected errors like this to show up, but they still think that the launch is doing well. But of course, they'll say it's doing well. But I'm not surprised there. Like I'm not going. I'm gonna be shocked if we see a console come out and there's no problems. It's like a perfect console. Like Like you'll always find a lemon. You'll always find some overheating issues or something like that. Like even if we're going to the next gen, there's gonna be like this stamp like this is the problem with the PS4. This is the problem with the Xbox One, and same with the Wii U. And like, it's just growing pains for anything that comes out. So that's why thankfully after because when the PS4 or whatever next gen came out, like I want to buy a next gen console. But in reality, you have to wait to get that investment.
Never buy a console at launch.
Never.
Yeah, unless you got to get the best and biggest right away.
Cool kid on the
I know
block.
some people like that. They need the latest gadget the moment it's out.
Yeah, I have family members.
If you've got expendable income, then that's okay. But like practicality-wise,
exactly.
Practicality, never buy a console online.
Oh no, yeah. If you have a lot of money and then you can buy a PS like 4 of them and whatnot, like okay, fine, cool. But like what Big
like
was
in
saying,
the States, right? You can trade in your older version systems to get a discount on the newer version.
Yeah,
which is a thing that we don't have in this country.
Why would we want to have that kind of deal here?
No, but like
work.
let's say the DS and the PSP, when the the fat PS was really bad, but like stores would have the option where you trade in your old version of that system to get like a discount price on the slim version, so you sort of make a bit of money back at least.
So what are you when you say that like we should not buy a console on day one, what would have changed your mind?
A video game.
No, I know. Obviously, but what series? Like, for example, you Migs. Like, what would be your pull to the PS4 right away? Like, of course, like go.
No,
like
Migs go
first.
Yeah.
It's not like I guess for the PS4 it would be Final Fantasy 15. If
it became a thing. Launch window, not launch day.
Yeah, because it's more of the same. It's the same.
Yeah, because for me, I'm like if they released, for example, Uncharted, the new one for the PS4, like I'm all over that. Like I'm definitely gonna get the PS4 like on its first 3 months. Like that's definitely the game I'm gonna get. Sadly, we don't have Uncharted as a day one or a launch window.
Uncharted 4 has been announced for the PlayStation 4.
Well, it's not Uncharted 4.
It's not Uncharted 4. It's just Uncharted.
But it is Uncharted,
something.
yeah. So we don't know if it'll actually still be Nathan Drake or a different person or what. It's just sharing the name right now of the series. So we'll see.
So it's coming out for next year, and that's not much of a big news because everybody expects Naughty Dog to work on an Uncharted title for PS4, and it just pretty much confirms what they're doing after The Last of Us. What about you, Will? What
game would get me to buy a PS4?
It's like might as well, like since we have pretty much I don't consider the launch lineup an amazing.
Yeah, well, looking at the launch lineup, not the launch lineup, but the upcoming games for it, I don't really see anything particularly interesting for me. Not even say Infamous Second Son. Maybe, and I'm kind of wanting to wait on Final Fantasy as well because, let's be fair, the last few haven't been too good.
I'm not gonna wait on a Final Fantasy as a pull because the last time I did that, it wasn't successful for me. Like I was so disappointed.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So right now for me, actually, probably Metal Gear. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of when that comes out. And is that even Is that even
it's coming
exclusive
out on
to PlayStation
gen.
4?
It's definitely coming out on
Metal Gear.
PlayStation 4. It's Ground Zeroes.
Not Ground Zeroes. I mean, like the Phantom Pain itself. But speaking of Ground Zeroes, that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
For one, they announced that there's going to be exclusive content for Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. And whoever doesn't know, this is not Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. This is the prequel to that game, which is Ground Zeroes. It's confusing, I know. Just think of it as Gran Turismo 5's prologue. That's Ground Zeroes for MGS5. And it's coming out next year spring for PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360. And they announced that PS4 will get an exclusive content. I'm not too, what's it called again? I just had it here.
DLC?
Yeah, something like...
I think it's called Deja Vu.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of... I don't understand, are we going to see... what's it called? The Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain out, I don't know, 2 or 3 years after?
Maybe.
The prologue, the Ground Zeroes, because I don't understand why because they're planning to release it in spring, and it's going to be in current gen. Phantom Pain is definitely going to be only for next gen, and that'd be pretty weird if it's 2 or 3 years after we're going to see I'm not too sure people will be excited anymore, just like how Gran Turismo 5 was oh, it's out. Okay, finally, cool. It's just.
They might use the profits of Ground Zeroes to help fund the Phantom Pain's development.
The what? They're using Ground Zero sales to help with MGS5?
That's what I'm thinking, at least. Maybe. I think that's what they did with Gran Turismo. That's why they released a prologue.
Yeah, but wouldn't they have a proper budget, or they're just constantly extending it? Because they just, I don't know, Kojima's just weird that way. I don't know. They just like to, I know, I want my thing to be perfect. Yeah. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, I'm pretty excited about that. PS4 is definitely, well, it looks, I don't know, I guess I was expecting more. I'm not too sure what to say about the PS4 launch.
Yeah, it's been, well, for us especially here where we are, we've had a lot of stuff on our minds lately with the typhoon and everything. So not a lot of
Yolanda.
Yeah, we weren't able to really pay much attention to the launch. But yeah, I'm a little bit ambivalent. It's a little bit anticlimactic for me too about the PS4 launch. It wasn't there wasn't any huge uproar or nothing. It just sort of quietly went out there and sold really well. But
yeah, which is actually a good thing for Sony, where the whole issue is the yellow light, the blue light, whatever. That's common. Anything will have a problem. But when it comes to what Will's saying, it's silent. It means, well, it's a smooth release for a new console. Now the question is, will there be new games that will support it 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line? That's what every new console will have to face.
Yeah, and I'm actually wondering, will they be able to hit their sales targets? I mean, 1 million in a day is great, but that's first day sales. What are we talking about?
What is their target anyway?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. But will we have another situation where it's like the Wii U? Who knows? It's very hard to say at this point.
Well, I guess. Well, I'm not too sure. I forgot the release window for Wii U, but I guess Sony has a better promise to the community, where we have Second Son coming out, we have these Destiny coming out, and then stuff they have games planned out, Planet Side 2 for free coming out in the window, that will sustain the people for now. What comes out maybe on March, what comes out June, that has to be answered, and I think it's gonna be answered in the Spike TV Awards, which is happening in December. Because that program is known for releasing world premieres of new titles and all that. And since this year is the release of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, we're definitely going to see next-gen titles that we've never heard before.
Definitely.
And because, Spike TV,
if no one... I have to disagree. I think we'll just be hearing a lot about sequels.
Or updates.
That's generally what we get nowadays is just sequel. We'll expect Assassin's Creed 5, whatever, I don't know.
They're gonna announce Assassin's Creed 5 right in VGS. Video Game Awards when Assassin's Creed 4 is I hate that game. Well, I don't really hate the game, but anyway,
You hate what it's become.
I hate what Ubisoft's becoming, pretty much. It's like this yearly whole thing. But yeah, the Video Game Awards coming out on December 7. Not coming out. It's gonna be
called
going live.
VGX.
Yeah, they changed the name. I don't know why. I didn't even bother to check why they called it VGX. But it's not anymore Video Game Awards 2013. It's VGX. And yeah, they announced they're gonna be releasing world premieres for next gen and exclusive demos. I don't know what that means. And then interviews, yada yada yada. But I'm pretty excited for this because, like I said, it might like the world premieres. Like we had Skyrim revealed in the Video Game Awards. We had Uncharted 3 being revealed. So it's gonna be interesting to what's gonna come out. I'm assuming they're gonna show something of Uncharted. That's what I'm guessing. Or
well, let's take a wait and see approach. At this point in time, like, it could be almost anything. We might even just see more of the same. We might see more Watch Dogs. We might see more.
Well, I'm calling it as Fallout 4 because the teaser site came out now.
No, that for sure seems like Fallout 4. It's got the kind of little retro thing going on there.
Yeah, there's a teaser site that just got live in the interwebs now, and it has a countdown.
Or Fallout 4, or maybe Fallout something.
Yeah, it's definitely the Fallout franchise, but like this site, this website, which I'll link in the description below. It's annoying to get. It's annoying. That sounds annoying when you try to get into the site, but that will put on like Morse code sound. I hate it. But check it out. It's a countdown, and from what it looks like, it seems like the countdown to either Fallout 4 or a post-apocalyptic game. And I'm sure it's going to be Bethesda. So, I don't know, I'm pretty excited for another Fallout game. It's been too long. And,
I'm actually, if there is another Fallout, I'm hoping it's, but I kind of hope that they go back to old school style in a way, like kind of go back to how it used to be, right? Because the new third person is fine, but it's just not the same.
I don't think they'll go back to the whole,
yeah, I know, it's wishful
time.
thinking on my part, really. Like, I don't think it'll happen either, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's it for news. We should probably take a break here, I guess, and then once we're back, we'll start our discussion on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, PlayStation 3, we're gonna pretty much talk about the history. And,
Retrospectives.
Guys, stick around, and we'll be back in a bit.
Yep.
Hey everybody, and we're back for the second half of the TMG podcast. And before we were talking about the PS4 and all that, and I actually want to start off before we start off with the whole PS3 Sony history. You've guys seen the PS4 lineup, right?
Yep, I have.
More or less.
It's mostly multi-plats with I think three or four exclusives.
Yeah, like just a small amount of exclusives. Like of course the known ones for the PlayStation 4 is
Killzone and Killzone, yeah.
And Killzone Shadowfall. That's pretty much it. And Resogun, yeah, which is a digital.
The only things on the top of my head.
Yeah, and then everything else is just something you can get out of PC or like even the current gen.
Even current gen.
Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, Blacklight Retribution is a free game, but it's already in PC. Call of Duty Ghost, Contrast, which is actually pretty interesting. It's a new game. It's a digital online game, but it's also out now for PC. DC Universe Online, Dive Kick, FIFA 14, Flower, which is actually funny. What's this? Injustice, Just Dance 2014, Lego, Madden,
yeah, Flower.
NBA 2K14, Need for Speed Rivals, which is actually surprising because it's not even out yet for current gen and PC. Playroom, Resogun, we mentioned it a while ago. Skylanders, Sound Shapes, Super Motherload, and Trine 2. Right? It's actually in PS4 as well. And Warframe.
But isn't Shrine 2 available on PlayStation 3 as well?
Yeah, it is. It's just
Okay.
dump. It's
Is that
dumping
one
on
of their
PlayStation.
PS Plus games?
It's PSN. It says here it's categorized as PSN, so I don't think it's a PSN Plus. Launch window is actually pretty long, but I don't want to mention that yet because we don't know it might get delayed and all that. But yeah, it's nothing that interesting. It's the usual, like typical launch lineup. Like you have your sports, you have your fighting games, your shooters, your Dance Dance Revolutions, your Lego. Yeah, you have a Lego game as well here. Marvel superheroes, yeah. Because like in the PS3 they had like Marvel Alliance as a launch lineup, launch title. So I think there's always going to be a Marvel game in there. It's okay. Like I'm not too excited about it. There's a lot of digital releases though for PS4. If you look back on the PS3 though, it's about the same. Like what's the exclusive? Resistance.
Resistance was a big one. I think the first Uncharted was the first Uncharted a release.
No,
it wasn't right.
It wasn't even on a window. Uncharted came out like I don't know, a year or two. And it was like Resistance. I'm not even Killzone 2 wasn't even in the release launch.
It wasn't. I don't believe it was.
Like the United States launch title is actually pretty small. So like for the PlayStation 3 we have Call of Duty 3, Genji Days of the Blade, which I don't know what that is.
That was the one with the giant enemy crab, right?
Oh, with maximum damage. Okay.
Yeah, that was that one, wasn't it?
I think so. It sounds like. I think that's the one. Yeah. We have Madden NFL 2007, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire. I remember that game. NBA 2K7 and Live. Need for Speed. Wow, Need for Speed's always in every launch title. But Need for Speed Carbon for the PlayStation 3. NHL, Ridge Racer 7.
Oh shit, yeah, Ridge Racer.
Tiger Woods, which by the way, Tiger Woods PGA Tour, just a quick note that. The Tiger Woods name will be removed.
Name.
Yeah, from future PGA Tour titles.
Next games, yeah.
Yeah, but, oh well. It's not really that big. Tony Hawk Project 8. I want a new Tony Hawk. Actually.
Really? You want a new Tony Hawk?
Yeah, I like Tony Hawk.
Why don't you play Tony Hawk Ride?
Was that the one with the big skateboard?
Yes, that was the one.
That was a piece of crap. Holy sh!
Has anybody tried that one? I saw it in the store.
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
I think they figured, oh my god, like, what are we gonna do now that they're not making plastic Guitar Hero instruments? You know, maybe we should try.
Oh, and Tony Hawk is owned by Activision.
Yeah, so they milk it. They milk it to shit too. You know, it's their standard of.
And they fired everyone who made the old Tony Hawk games.
Which sucks. So the old Tony Hawk games were pretty awesome. But yeah, what I mentioned a while ago, that's a PS3 lineup. And that's actually a perfect way to start our little PlayStation 3
retrospective.
Yeah, because that's actually a horrible lineup. Like PS4 actually looks good now. For me reading this. Because we only have Resistance, I think. As an exclusive.
Well,
and Call of Duty 3.
You have to remember
Shooters.
The PS3 was the successor to what is arguably the best, or was Sony's, was the best selling system to date at the time, which was the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
So there were really, 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 really high expectations on it, and I remember when it was originally announced, there was a lot of hope for it. Then that conference came along with the $5.99 and the giant enemy crabs and Ridge Racer
and Ridge Racer.
And
no, but there's a reason why I want to mention this whole like the PS4 lineup and the PS3 lineup, because when people are explaining, because we have people complaining about the PS4 lineup and then saying that it doesn't justify the $399 they're asking for. But we had like years before, like in 2005, when the PlayStation 3 came out, it was asking for $600.
Yeah,
with this kind of lineup.
The worst lineup.
Like
I believe the PS2 had a really bad launch lineup.
Yeah, like I I've never seen a launch lineup good, like a nice one, like
For
with-
anything.
for anything, yeah. So I think people should just let off some steam and realize that getting the game on the console on day one is just, it's hard. It's hard to justify what you just bought
Yeah,
when there's no games.
It is pretty hard to justify sometimes.
Yeah, because don't think the
you know,
PlayStation 3 had a good time.
For the most part, also launch titles tend to be generally weaker because they're rushed in a way. They have to be rushed to hit the release date of the console, whenever that is. So
Yeah,
that can be a problem.
which I think is the reason why Watch Dogs had to pull out, because they didn't feel confident with what they had.
Yeah, no, which I think is good for them. Honestly, I think we'll get a better game out of it because they pulled out. And they
Yeah, and it's a new IP. Like, it would be horrible to like have something half baked, and it's a new IP.
Yep.
It's gonna be horrible for Ubisoft, but now it's a spring lineup, I think, for Watch Dogs. But yeah, the PlayStation 3, it was a horrible lineup, and it was at $600 when it first came out.
Yep, and remember, it
Yep.
was competing directly with the Xbox 360, which
That
was
came out the
already
year
out
before.
at the time, yeah, and doing relatively well, I think, for what it was. I mean, they were getting Red Ring issues for sure, but there just wasn't anything else. So that was what the console people were buying. So, and that extra year really helped. It helped in Microsoft's favor because they had the lion's share of the market already. And so when PlayStation comes along and says, "Yo, we got these new consoles for $600,"
Like, it's such a strong system.
and it's basically playing this, it looks, games look more or less the same as they did on the 360. No one's gonna, no one really want to go for that. Although I remember they were showing that Killzone 2 trailer that was kind of bullshotted to look really
Yeah, it was
really
not
awesome.
gameplay. It was not gameplay.
Yeah, but it looked like gameplay, but it was it was a CG trailer made to look like a gameplay trailer.
Oh, that's dirty.
Which I think, yeah, it's dirty, and I think it's something that also they're doing now, because like if we move back to when the PS4 was announced, when Capcom presented Deep Down,
Yeah, I'm sure that's all bullshots also. I'm pretty
that was bullshots. Like the only reason, like, oh my god, it's actual gameplay when you see your UI like shifting from weapon to whatever, and like they could have just placed a layer on that one, and then,
But I heard that the Deep Down trailers that Capcom was putting out was rendered on the spot. So it might not be gameplay, but it's actual game, like graphics or assets at least being used.
like the first footage they shown when they announced Deep Down.
I believe so. Like,
I don't know. I still,
people were saying that there's no pixelation or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe. We'll just have to wait and see.
But yeah, moving back, I don't know. It was PlayStation 3. Definitely had a rough start because it was $600.
Yeah, and like the fat PS3 was really loud.
No, it was loud. It only had 60 gigabytes when it came out, and I guess Sony just really was banking on the fact that we have a strong system, which they did have a strong system. It was the strongest system during
on
I think
on paper,
on paper, yeah.
They were pushing the power of the cell and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Back then, E3, all just slideshows and charts. Thank God it's gone now. Because that was E3 back in the day. It felt like a presentation for investors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember for a long period of time, like a very long period of time, the PlayStation 3 was literally where the Wii U is now. It had no games. Like, it had some very good games, but they were maybe, you could count them on one hand. It had Uncharted 1, it had Metal Gear 4.
Yeah, but those were all like, it's coming soon, right? Well, Uncharted wasn't even considered a big name back then.
But I'm moving past the launch already to the point
okay.
when it was, yeah, but I mean, these are the games that it had going for it, but, I mean, it was to the point people were saying Resistance was a very good game because it was the only thing that was on the bloody PlayStation at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't. That
That was a bit of a running joke for a really, really long time for the PlayStation. I remember Because and I remember also even a lot of the multi-platform releases were suffering on the PlayStation 3. Like it was harder to program on the PlayStation. So what most people would do was they'd program it first on the Xbox and then port it over eventually, right?
That's how they did it. No, because definitely developers were saying that if in the current gen, like the worst console to code on was the PS3. It was not friendly at all.
It wasn't friendly at all.
And like that's the reason why people say, is it better for the PS3 or is it better for the Xbox 360? Because people will have to know that each console is done differently. And sadly, in that generation, the PS3 was the hardest. It wasn't friendly to any developer. Like I guess like best example is like maybe Bayonetta. It was like very rough on PS3, but in Xbox 360 it was okay. Because I think it was coded in 360 for Bayonetta.
Then Sega did a really poor port.
Yeah, and then when they ported it, was like
it was a terrible port. But I mean, not just that. But look at even like the older Call of Duty titles, the some of the older RPGs like Star Ocean, and I think Eternal Sonata, like they all had graphical differences, but generally were played better on the Xbox 360. They weren't, in some cases they were big differences, in some cases they were very small differences. But it's only really now at the end of the generation where most of the games have platform parity. Because before, I remember there was a point when there was always a clear winner and clear loser. When it came to multi-platform games.
And graphics.
And for me, that was always an issue because I wanted to, when some game came out, and I was like, okay, where do I get it on? Because for me, I don't have a real preference between the controllers or the online or whatever. I just want to get the version that's the best playable one. So for me, it's always always an issue.
No, actually, I'll be honest with when it comes to with the control schemes and all that, because I've had the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3, so I am pretty much born with that control scheme of the PlayStation, like the left and right stick, pretty much like side by side, and I was okay with it. The only time where I thought that I actually had a problem with the PS3 controllers when I actually got my Xbox 360. And I got used to the control scheme on where on how their joysticks were positioned.
Right.
And I just realized like, wow, I actually feel like the Xbox 360 controller was way better. Like I felt way much better. Which is actually something they never bothered fixing in the PS3, like the button. So it's actually pretty much a preference. Obviously they fixed that because now like the PS4 controller, they're now saying it's pretty much for any genre now. It's like it's perfect in terms of like ergonomics and then where the sticks are positioned and all that. But yeah, the PlayStation 3, I think I remember when they announced Uncharted 2, I think. That's the only time I paid attention to it, I think.
And actually, I share it with you to place it. That was the. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't so much Uncharted 2. Was it the first Uncharted? I thought looked amazing, but for you. But I was waiting. I already had the 360 at the point. So for me, what actually triggered my purchase of a PlayStation 3 was when they announced the PS3 Slim. Because it was a much cheaper unit, it was smaller, and I thought, hey, perfect time to, jump in and get one. So
it was the biggest problem with the fat version, because I don't remember it when it with the first 6 months of the console. It had overheating issues.
Did it also have I'm
not too sure, because the 360 it did.
It did.
Yeah, because the 360 had the worst, I think, but the PS3 wasn't like immune to that issue of it being overheated.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But it was definitely it weighed a ton though.
Yeah, it was quite a beast indeed.
Yeah, like they were like no joke, like this is a big console.
Like,
and
I think the fat PS3 didn't have a lot of overheating issues, but the fan would get really loud.
Yeah, it would get really loud.
It's unbearable for some people.
And I would be, to be honest, like with all the new variations of the PlayStation 3, like the Slim, the Ultra Slim, or whatever, the Fat was actually, like if you compare it to the Slim, it's a horrible design. It's like a really bad.
It looks like a mini fridge.
It really felt like a mini fridge. And again, the weight, because I remember the first time I played a PlayStation 3, I borrowed it from a friend to play Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, I borrowed this MGS4, and then I, like, can I borrow your PS3? Like, yeah, sure, okay. I pick it up, I put it in my backpack, and I head home. And when I got home, my back was killing me. Because it felt like I had weights in my back. But yeah, that's the only time I think for me, like, where I experienced the PlayStation 3, when I got my cousin's console and played Metal Gear Solid 4. And I was actually surprised and shocked by the whole, oh my god, the PlayStation Network, it's free. I can just dabble with the PlayStation Store. I'll start downloading stupid shit.
I think but when the release of the Slim was actually kind of the turning point, I felt for Sony.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I think that spurred on a lot more purchases of the and by that time they already had a decent number of okay games. And
that's when Uncharted was out.
It just grew though. It just kind of grew on that. Like, honestly, I feel the PlayStation 3 probably has the best lineup of exclusives for this generation, bar none. It has Demon's Souls, it has Uncharted, it's got Heavy Rain, Infamous, The Last of Us, Journey.
Was Demon's Souls out on the 360?
No, it was an exclusive. Dark Souls was the multi-platform one.
Okay. It was on PC.
Dragon's Crown, so it just was from the God of War, I can keep going. It's got so many exclusives.
3D Heroes, I'm sorry, it's a great game.
Japanese games as well.
Yeah, and that was actually one thing that was strange at the beginning, was that it seemed to be the Xbox 360 was going to be the new JRPG system, because it was getting Tales of Vesperia, it had Last Remnant, it had Infinite
Lost Odyssey.
Yeah, Lost Odyssey. But yeah, as it turns out, we slowly start to see some of the more quirky, I would say, Japanese RPGs starting to appear on the PlayStation 3 also. Like the Disgaea series, which is more a SRPG, but...
Oh, this guy was... Well, I would consider this guy as more of a portable, turn-based game. But that was a big game.
Well, but then, like, the Atelier series, the Atelier Rorona, Miruru, those games. There was, oh god, there's a bunch of these really kind of cutesy, weird Japanese RPGs that popped up on the PlayStation after that.
Yeah, but you're right though. That's one of the biggest turning points for the Sony, when close to when the Slim was out, we started seeing that PlayStation 3 has a lot of exclusives coming out. You can only get this game in the PlayStation 3, because Xbox 360 at the time and the Wii, the Wii had the usual shit. Xbox had Gears and Halo.
Oh,
PlayStation 3
had another exclusive that actually got me to want the PS3 was Heavenly Sword. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good game as well. Yeah.
But
it hit the All-Star lineup.
It did. She got in there. There was also Lair, but Lair was really bad. But Lair had such a cool
lineup.
idea. There was such an awesome idea. You're flying in a dragon and everything, but oh my god, the execution was terrible.
Yeah, but I think that was Sony's biggest, the best choice they ever had, where they asked so many developers, "Can you make a game just for us? Can you make a game just for us?" Because I think many of the known developers have at least one game exclusive for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, a majority of them do. They're just not the Microsoft own one, like Bungie with that. But I think everyone else at least has one, or has at least one. Maybe not EA, maybe not Activision, but I mean.
No, but they have what they have. No, they don't have yet. No, but my point is compared to other consoles, they use the word exclusive a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
To the point that pushed people to okay, I'm gonna buy Uncharted, so I have to buy a PlayStation 3.
I mean, the strength was even to the point when previous like exclusives on 360 ended up on the PlayStation, like Mass Effect, for example, was a Microsoft
Xbox.
exclusive.
Yeah,
Xbox
Microsoft, I mean.
Yeah, and then it turned out it ended up on the PS3 eventually too. So yeah.
Yeah, because that's the only time where I think Microsoft felt the pressure, because like all of a sudden, I think they tried to do like some kind of deal with Squaresoft to release Final Fantasy 13, because that was a shocker. Like all of a sudden, Final Fantasy was multi-platform. I guess Microsoft had that feeling that okay, we have to have more get more of those exclusives into the multi-platform scene, and we saw that like Final Fantasy 13. Dark Souls didn't become an exclusive anymore, it became a multi-platform and stuff like that. But regardless of all of that, PS3 was still dabbling with more exclusive. We had Heavy Rain. We have, like, Uncharted became more of a success. We had more Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. 3 Dot Heroes, which is actually a pretty charming game. What else? There's a lot.
There was a lot for sure. And, what do you think, like, I think it was also coming to a point when I guess the PlayStation used Blu-ray discs, right? And the Xbox was still using standard DVD discs. So we were getting to a point also when a lot of game developers just had so much stuff that you couldn't fit it on a DVD. You needed that Blu-ray disc. So I feel that's partially why we saw a lot of exclusives going to the PS3 and not necessarily to the Xbox. And I think it's
why? Because you think it's because of the space? Because it's a little easier to.
That's one. I think it's also because Sony. I'm not sure of this. Don't quote me on it. But I think Sony in general is just easier to work with than with Microsoft.
Oh no, definitely when it comes to business.
So I think that had a lot to do with it. The PlayStation Network was a lot more friendly to use as well.
It had the whole. It was free.
It's free, exactly. It's completely free. So that was a big plus.
Which is actually that was like a big move for Sony, because we had Microsoft I'm not too sure
Xbox
when
Live Gold.
Yeah, that was a monthly deal. Like if you want to play online, you have to pay. And when they launched the PSN, the PlayStation Network, that was free. You could play any multiplayer for free.
Yep, and that even PS Plus is, you get a bunch of nice things for it, but it's not necessary to play online at all.
Yeah, well, that was for PS3. Well, we're going back to next gen. If people don't realize it or haven't found the news, for PlayStation 4, you need the PlayStation Plus in order to play online games. So pretty much PSN Plus has now become Xbox Live in a nutshell. So,
but
you
then
have to pay.
PSN did have its issues. Remember, there was that 1 or 2 weeks where it was down because it got hacked, and people lost their credit card info and whatever.
Oh, that was like way down, like I don't know, a year. Like was it a year ago or 2 years ago?
2011, I think.
Yeah, like
that
was horrible. That's one reason. Like if people are wondering why they got hacked, it's because the PSN isn't as high quality as the Xbox Live in terms of security and speed. Because yes, it's free, but it's still cheap.
That's very understandable too. Because remember, Microsoft also makes a lot of business solutions, a lot of corporate solutions that for that sort of thing. So there's a lot more. They have a much more experience as far as having security goes and things like that.
And it's Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's Microsoft, and I'm sure they have a better security. PSN, sadly, that whole hack that rendered the whole system down for 2 weeks. I think it was.
Something
if anybody can,
And I remember that was significant because it was like the first time it showed that it's vulnerable. Big boy like Sony is vulnerable.
Big boy Sony, and then they had like I don't know how many credit card information was taken there, but it was to the point that Sony said, "I'm sorry,"
and they gave us free games. Yeah, we got free games out of it.
We got a lot of free games for that, and digital games, but it's still games nonetheless, like $10.
Yeah, I think they gave also 1 month's worth of free PlayStation Plus membership.
Yeah, that's actually how I experienced PlayStation Plus because they gave everybody 1 month free, and it was okay. It was like during that month, it wasn't like the free stuff wasn't so interesting, like Sonic or whatever.
Yeah, because the PS Plus was a new thing back then when Sony got hacked.
But I actually appreciated the whole like hack thing, because if I didn't get a free 1 month PSN Plus, I wouldn't play Uncharted 3's beta. Because I had a lot of fun with the Uncharted 3 beta during that time. So yeah, the whole PSN hack was like way down the line, like
2012, I believe.
2012. That's actually really recent. And
but do you think like at the end of like one question to ask is like we've established last week that we know that the Wii was the top winner. But have we seen figures as far as sales goes for 360 to PS3 sales? Because I'm actually curious between those two, like who came up on top, who came out on top? Because it's impossible to determine based on, by asking people. Like obviously a lot of people here where we're from are PlayStation people. But I'm sure like you go to the US or something, you'll see a lot of Xbox fans there. So it's not...
World? Are you talking about the world?
Yeah, globally, as far as sales go, like I'm kind of curious, was the PlayStation able to outdo the Xbox 360? Because
I believe so, though.
It was lagging behind tremendously at a certain point. Like it was really the last place. Like literally the third place, right?
It was only like towards like I think the third or fifth year of the PlayStation 3 is when they actually get profit. Like for Sony, like PlayStation 3 only got you started seeing green numbers already, like after 5 years, because no matter what, we're talking about a $600
essentially when
console.
the Slim came out.
Yeah, and it was hard. Sony, I think, is in the like how I saw PlayStation 3 for Sony was like how Nintendo is right now with the Wii U. Like it's gonna be a long stretch to when they hit the green light in terms of profit, because like I said, it's $600 with no games, and it wasn't appealing at all. The whole cell technology, like people wouldn't really understand that, especially with the games that they released, like the whole Genji Massive Damage game. Like you couldn't see it, but obviously they had a strong system, because towards the end of the cycle, we had The Last of Us, Uncharted 2, Heavy Rain. It's pretty interesting stuff. The developers just had a hard time creating that whole amazing graphics because it was just not friendly at all.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I think it hit green. It started earning money towards like after 5 years. But to answer your question about did it sell more than the Xbox 360? I think they're towards the same amount, but I'm assuming Xbox 360 sells more at this point.
Well, one thing Sony had also going for it, and I think what ultimately made it more money, was was not able to be pirated at all.
It never did. Well, there are methods.
Dude, there are methods, but they're so obtuse to use. They're not user friendly at all.
To the point that actually, like, when it comes to the Philippines, like, people actually just opting, I'll just buy the originals.
Yeah. Because I've seen, it's something to do with like a USB stick, and then you have to put the game on it, and,
Yeah, and then you pretty much, load it via
through the USB, yeah. But, I think there's still a lot of limitations with that. Like, I don't think you can save the game. I don't think you can,
Yeah, there's a lot of issues towards it, and it was hard to hack, and that just shows how complicated the infrastructure was for the PlayStation 3, because yes, it was hard to develop, and yes, it was hard to hack. Not like the Xbox 360, not like the Wii, where it was very simple, like they just knew what to do.
And I think it's also because it was Blu-ray. This is,
that too, yeah. And I think during the time when the Blu-ray came out, I think Blu-ray discs popped as, I don't know.
It won the media war.
No, but it was like what, $2,000 for one copy, one CD or something?
Oh, yeah.
Not $2,000, 2,000 pesos is what I'm saying. It was really expensive.
And then just the burner itself also was very expensive. It's
or the player?
Yeah, the one to the Blu-ray burner, the BD burner.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot more affordable now, but Blu-ray is still quite an expensive format at the moment.
No, but you also have to note with the PlayStation 3, people actually opted to get a PlayStation 3 just to get a DVD, a Blu-ray
player, correct.
Yeah, so that helped them in terms of sales because like non-gamers just got it. Like, oh, my kids can play this system, and I can now buy
watch
Blu-rays.
movies on it.
Yeah, like, all right, cool. Dad's happy, kids are happy. Like they got sales out of that.
So you'd say it's actually a more family-friendly console than the Xbox?
No, not family-friendly. Like the Wii got that covered.
No, well, more family-friendly as compared to Xbox. What I mean to say.
I think if I have to answer that, I guess for here, because the Philippines is really Sony sent. Like it's really a Sony place, like PlayStation place. So, like when you talk about video games, it's either Nintendo, Game Boy, or PlayStation, and like. It's not something Nintendo did or anything. It's just how it is here. So I guess so. I'll say PlayStation. And I said Xbox 360 sold more, but it's really hard to tell. Like they never got official word, really. Because, for example, PlayStation in like many countries, like for example us, the Philippines. Japan is definitely a PlayStation area. Europe, I think, is more of a PlayStation area.
Yeah, Europe is
definitely
more PlayStation.
Hong Kong. No, I'm not sure about Hong Kong or Singapore.
Asia in general is more PlayStation.
Asia in general, yeah. And Microsoft, Xbox 360 is the United States.
US, that's it.
US. Yeah, but that's how strong the US is, and that's how big the gaming industry is in the US to the point that it's like neck and neck with the PlayStation, and yeah, I can't really like. I'll take back the 360 winning because I'm not too sure really. It's hard to tell. It's definitely like the PlayStation 3 was definitely in like last place, like maybe most of its lifespan actually. So I think the PlayStation 2 actually is way better in terms of performance, in terms of like reception. Compared to the PlayStation 3.
Well, that was a big issue also before, wasn't it? The whole PlayStation 2 backward compatibility with the PS3.
What do you mean?
Because the Wii is GameCube backward compatible. And I know certain models of the PS3 are also backward compatible, but I'm not sure if it's
I'm not too sure. I think I have to do some research on that because I remember in E3, like when they announced the PlayStation 3, they were saying PS2 games backward compatibility or something like that. But that never really materialized into an actual feature to like all standard PS3 games.
I think when they released the Slim, they removed the PS2 backward compatibility in later models of the Slim. But I hear it can still play PS1 discs. Some PS1 discs. Because it does it via emulation. That's why it's a bit iffy.
But yeah, but I don't never understood the whole backward compatibility though. I don't understand why people strive on like if they have that feature it'll be perfect.
I think like especially with this generation and looking forward, and this is one reason why I double dipped on the PlayStation 3 unit I bought. Is because this has been such a long generation that my library of games is actually quite large. So
how many times did you buy the PlayStation 3?
Twice. So I have I have one, the old Slim, the original Slim, which is still working, but it's not working too well. Like you have to like the CD doesn't read as well anymore, etc. I actually. Yeah, so I have that one, and I have the new Super Slim, which is the top loader. Which it's okay.
Your first, okay.
Go on, sorry.
No, go. Your first one, the Slim.
Yeah.
How many years was that?
Oh God, I don't know. It's been a while already.
No, but like, can I say 3 years?
More than that. Yes, I guess 3 years. When did the Slim come out? That's when I bought it.
2011, I think.
No. It's not 2011. I think it's like 2010, maybe? The Slim?
Maybe.
Because I got mine in 2011.
I bought a PS3 in 2011.
Was it in 2011 or I think mine was 2010 because I bought it like the day when did Uncharted 2 come out?
2000. Okay,
around
here
that
it
time.
was the PlayStation 3 Slim was released 2009, so that's when I had it. 2009.
2009. Wow, my net's not working right now. Because I remember I literally got Uncharted 2 when it came out. 2009? Really? No. Yeah. I'm at 2009. My PlayStation 3 was 3 years old when I got it. Okay. Because when Uncharted 2 came out, I got it. I played it, and 3 years later, it died.
Oh yeah,
R.I.P. And
the yellow light of death.
yeah, sadly, like I had my PlayStation 3 only lasted for 3 years, which is kind of cool because I played the hell out of that system, and it did pretty well. I think I had 250 gigs on that one. I didn't double dip on it because I think the second year I had my PlayStation 3, I bought my Xbox 360. So when my PlayStation 3 died, I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna have to, live with the 360 because next gen's coming out anyway. But I didn't
my original 360 red ringed, so I ended up also buying another 360. So.
Oh, because you got the Falcon one. Yeah.
That was my original 360. Now I bought a 360 Slim, which is quite a nice, actually, very nice looking system overall.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll talk about Xbox next week actually.
Next week. Yeah, but the PlayStation 3 is definitely a strong, it definitely is worth the investment because I remember my friend, he bought a PlayStation 3 way back, even before me, and his PlayStation 3 still works. It's a fat.
The whole fat
version,
one, yeah.
60 gigabytes, and it still works. It's still perfect. It's just he's scared as hell to play any new game because if he put in The Last of Us, it just might blow up or something. That's his worry about it. Because it's literally like the first generation of PlayStation 3 consoles, and
are there some games that cannot be played on older PS3s? Is there?
I remember in Data Blitz they were saying, is your system of PS3 fat or slim?
Yeah.
And I said, why? Bakit, miss?
Yeah, they keep asking if your system is slim.
Yeah, because they have issues where overheating issues or something that may happen with this game with the fat system down. So like, okay.
Wow,
and
I never
apparently
knew that.
Apparently that's true. Yeah. Like I think I remember Uncharted 3, they said that. Heavy Rain, they said that. They said I remember they asked me for Heavy Rain. They asked me on if I had a slim for Uncharted 3, and they asked me if I had a slim for Red Dead Redemption, which is a multi-platform. So like the fat is like, which is weird. I really want to see the inside of a fat because I don't understand why it would have like overheating issues. I guess the Slim has more fans, or it's just more ventilated.
Or
proper.
It's probably
maybe
more ventilated.
The build quality might be different, or like designed internally.
But yeah, in terms of how it was designed, like it's definitely worth the investment. The PS4, I don't know. It just came out. We can't really say about that yet. But what was the push for you, Migs? Because you got the PlayStation 3 compared to us to like really late.
Yeah, I got it in November of 2011.
And you got it just for the sake of getting a console, in a sense? Or?
No. I got it because I wanted to play Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 so bad.
Oh, actually, yeah. At the time, you weren't actually in the current gen. You didn't have any other.
Yeah,
console.
I just had a Wii. I got a Wii like in 2009, I think.
2009, yeah. But it wasn't the exclusive games.
Oh, I got the Wii U. I got a Wii for Smash Bros. But PS3, I got it because I really wanted to play Ultimate Marvel, and there was something happening in my office where we had to switch companies, and I got my back pay really early.
Oh, I see. So you had all this disposable income.
That's how I got it. Like I just splurged on it. Like
You just had the back pay and like,
I had the money for less than a week. Then boom, PS3.
It just popped in your screen like, oh, cool. I have a PlayStation 3.
I think I got my back pay on a Tuesday, and like I was planning, I'm gonna get a PS3 on Saturday, and Marvel came out like this week, but like the Friday I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a PS3 right now.
Yeah, I remember
my excitement.
Do you guys actually remember the day when the PlayStation 3 came out and the games were like god awfully expensive?
No,
Like,
I actually don't remember the day of release, to be honest.
That was the reason why I was completely turned off, and I was like, okay, I'm sticking with just the PC games because I was like really late for the current gen party. Like I wasn't paying attention to the 360, I wasn't paying attention to the PlayStation 3. But whenever I go to Data Blitz, like I dabble with the PC games, and then I check out the PlayStation 4. Like you see Uncharted for 4,500, like whatever game for like 4,200. It was like by the force, and that was such a big turnoff. Like, and I completely understood now. Okay, no wonder the PlayStation.
When I was buying,
for us,
my GameCube is unmodified, so I was buying GameCube games for $4,000 a pop.
Oh shit, $4,000?
Yeah. For a game. Like, I would buy them at SM Appliance Center and Toy Kingdom, I think. I'm not sure how much they were going for at DB, Data Blitz.
Around that time, because I think during that time, I don't think we had like Singapore and Hong Kong supplying us, like the Asian copies.
Like, R3 wasn't a thing, I think.
I don't think it was a thing then, but it was one of the biggest turnoffs for me. Like, I'm not gonna go PS4. I'll wait for it until it's cheaper. Which is a good thing because it eventually got cheaper. We have games now like $1,000, which is original, and like the day one copies.
Yeah, game sales here have really changed, like original games compared to how it was before.
They've balanced to what they actually are supposed to be priced at, like because technically like $60 games are pretty much priced at $2,700, which is understandable. Yeah. But if we're actually lucky and we get the Asian versions, we only get it for like $2,000. So we technically get it for cheaper. But back then, like, it's like, I don't know, doubled or whatever. Like, it's $4,000, it's way past $60. So it was hard to justify to actually get into the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, getting into the, go legit market was harder before.
And there's no fakes for the PlayStation 3.
I mean, I mean, what are your, like, last thoughts on it? Like, what do you think the legacy of the PS3 was? Because I know when I look back on it now, the PlayStation 2 for me still had much of a bigger impact than the PlayStation 3 did.
My final thoughts for PlayStation 3? I think it's not done yet.
Hopefully it's not done
No,
yet.
I'm sorry. What I mean to say is like, what legacy do you think it will leave in terms of like video gaming history? Because when I'm thinking on it now, like, I still feel the PlayStation 2 had a bigger impact than the PlayStation 3
To be honest, nothing.
had.
I think I have to agree with you. The PlayStation 2 had a bigger impact, and
Well, before, when it was like the PS2 era, like each console, like multi-platform games weren't a thing back then, as much as it is now. So it's a hard comparison if you're comparing the PS2 gen to the PS3 gen.
yeah, but like for example, like when you're talking about Nintendo Wii, like last episode, like it was easy to like justify like why, like what it left as we move on to the next gen, like its motion controls and its effect in the casual market. For the PlayStation 3, I think it just didn't really do.
In terms of impact to the
like legacy impact, yeah, because nothing really. Like even with the 360, like because me when I say it's not done yet, it's because I still think that the PlayStation 3 has like maybe 2-3 years left in it. Unlike the Wii, unlike the Wii, like Nintendo just decided like, we have no more games.
The Wii is dead.
I'm sorry. Like, that's what happened. But just like how history, like the history of Sony, when the PlayStation 3 came out, PlayStation 2 was still being supported, like widely supported. Like there were still games coming out for the PlayStation 2, like in numbers, as if the PlayStation 3 is not out. And that's a thing that Sony has always been doing, and I think they're gonna do the same thing for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. So I'm guessing around 2-3 years until we see, like, I don't know, sports games that's left in the PlayStation 3, and everything else is already, transported to the PlayStation 4.
Oh, that'll be the
Yeah.
last bastion. Will be the sports games. Huh?
It's always the last bastion.
It's always the
like,
sports games or the wrestling games.
Yeah, it's like, what's coming out in PlayStation 2? Madden 8, NFL, 2000, I don't know. Like, in terms of exclusives for that certain console, that's gone. Like, they already jumped ship and they went to the new ship. And, yeah, around 2015, we'll see the PlayStation 3 completely die down. Unless we see a super, super, super slim, which might happen. I don't know.
It might still happen. Because the Wii got a slim version.
Yeah,
Like,
to the point
like
it didn't have any more internet connection. It had no more space for anything. But yeah, actually, when we were like thinking like, we're talking about PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 didn't really have much of an impact. I'm not that thrilled compared to the Wii, to be honest. Like, PlayStation 3, it's cool. Cool graphics.
It's hard to say now, but maybe we have to re-ask this question in 5 years or so. But for now, I do feel
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I do feel the PlayStation 3, it may have, I don't think it really did a lot in that sense. It was just sort of just an
Another
upgrade
console.
basically from the PS2. But that's all we need, as gamers. I think that's really all we need. You just give us something that has better graphics. And, and a few small
Soon we will have
No, but I think the biggest one.
console.
I think the biggest one is the fact that I think the PlayStation 3 it converted their fans to what was becoming like, because thanks to the whole PlayStation Network being free, they had access to all that in a sense. They didn't have to pay for royalties for like monthly fees. They had access to like how console gaming will be, like the whole digital aspect of it in the console. Like, imagine if we had to pay monthly, it would be hard. So, like, people eased in, and eventually, it's perfect now that they released PlayStation Network after. Like, people know what they're getting at, and then they want more out of it. Now they have the PlayStation Plus. Because now in the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, it's going to be more digital, and I guess everybody's now prepared because now PlayStation, like other platforms, were all converting to DRM. So I think I'm already going to be calling it that I think the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One will be like the last console. Like, it'll be the last console in terms of discs. Like, disc space will be like the next one will be surpassing the Xbox. It's going to be mostly DRM already. So I think that's going to be like the next gen's legacy. Like, it was the last hurrah.
It'll be
I'm still trying to think.
Sure.
I'm still trying to think, cause it was hard. Like, cause like you said, it's just like what we want. Like, better graphics, same old shit.
That's why I think gamers are generally simple people to please. Well, no, that's not right. We are easy to please because we do want a lot of stuff from our games. But I guess when it comes to a new console, we just want something that will enable us to be able to experience more. Without significantly changing how we experience.
Oh, I forgot
Like,
something.
we don't need. What's
3D.
that? Was 3D ever a big deal for? Well, I guess if you have a 3D TV
No, but
and
Well, we're talking about history about the PlayStation 3. Like, they tried
Like,
that.
that's the only thing it did different from other consoles.
Well,
Because like
No, I just
Xbox
wanted to include
360 doesn't have 3D, I think.
no, I just wanted to include it because they tried that and it failed and it just disappeared. Because I remember when they tried to like, oh my god, play Uncharted 3 with the 3D glasses. Like, okay. Like, no one
but
paid
3D
attention.
is already kind of going out. Like I
is.
feel that it's sort of losing a
We're
lot
getting
of
Oculus
its
Rift.
appeal already.
Well, the game, when it comes to like 3D, yeah, Oculus Rift. But yeah, that's about it. I don't like PlayStation 3 is just like the regular thing. Like, they had the PlayStation Move, which was the counterpart to go against the Wii. Then we had the PS Vita, which I think I'm going to separate that because that's handheld. That's something entirely different. Moving now forward to the PlayStation 4, which would be pretty interesting. I don't know what to say about the PlayStation 4 yet. It's hard. It's very hard to justify buying it.
At least for now.
No, it's for now. I think it's in every console. It's like for now. But I do like the features of it, like the whole online streaming and all that. Like, but it's the same thing so far. I like the controllers though. The controller is really nice. The PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I hear it feels very good as well.
No, what about you, Mix? What's your thoughts? I'm going straight to PlayStation 4 again.
PS4?
No, PS3.
Oh, PS3? You said PS4. That's all I can really say. Like, I don't regret buying it. I don't regret getting all legit games for it. It's a nice system, you know. As long as I get to play good games, I'm fine.
But yeah, that's a PS3 in a nutshell. I'm not too sure if we missed anything in the PlayStation 3. It's not the top selling console, definitely, but it still got back on its feet eventually towards the second half. Now we have the PlayStation 4 out. I'm not too sure. Again, like, I'm really just having a hard time liking the PlayStation 4. Like, I like the controller. That's about it.
Give it some time though, and I'm pretty sure we'll start seeing a lot of the more have-to-buy games, you know?
I'm sure it will sell a shit ton when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out.
Oh yeah, finally. That damn thing.
I don't think it's that much of a... I don't think so.
You underestimate the fan base of Kingdom Hearts.
Sorry, what?
When the last Guardian finally emerges.
You do know, like, they teased that a bit, like the president of Sony.
They did, I know, but I have the sinking feeling we won't see it until PlayStation 5.
Because they meant that when, I think, Jeff, I forget his name, the guy from Spike TV, he interviewed the president of Sony and everything. So what happened to The Last of Us? And I said, that's still in development, but I'm pretty confused on what console it is right now.
The Last of Us?
No, Shock. The Last Guardian. I forgot its
Guardian
name.
of Us.
Yeah. So apparently it's obviously going to the PS4. It's just a matter of time when. But yeah, let's cut it out short here. Next week is going to be the Xbox 360. It's going to be interesting because pretty much I don't know much about the Xbox 360. To be honest, I own one, but I got late into the party, and when I got into it, there's not much to say really. Like Xbox Live and all the consoles like exclusives are out. Like the Red Ring's already sold. Like it'll be pretty interesting. But we'll talk about the history of the Xbox 360, the first console. No.
The first console of this generation, generation, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first one that came out, and then I think the Wii, then the PlayStation 3.
Yep. That's right.
So, before we go, like, what were your top 3, like, PlayStation 3 games? Like, if I were to buy one for Christmas, what games should I get?
I'll start. I want to go with Uncharted 2, because I love that game so much. Uncharted 2, God of War 3, and Killzone 3.
Killzone 3, really? Killzone, okay, that's an interesting choice.
I like Killzone 3's multiplayer. Like, I think I'm the only one who liked it. And the only reason why I stopped playing it was because not many people were playing it already towards the end. But I hated the single player, but the multiplayer was a lot of fun, which is why I'd suggest that game.
I would suggest, on my part, let's see, I'd also go, God of War 3 is definitely there. I'd say Heavy Rain would be another one. I know we've given David Cage a lot of crap, but I enjoyed Heavy Rain for what it was. And I would also suggest Demon's Souls.
Yeah, Demon's Souls is a great game that would make you want to break your PlayStation 3. But I enjoyed the hell out of that. Migs, what about you?
Shit, you guys picked all picked exclusives.
Okay,
I thought we were an exclusive train. No, whatever. Go ahead. Just like if you have to give a PlayStation 3, like if you have to sell it.
I mean, actually, there's so many to pick because I really liked Uncharted as well. I mean, I could have said.
You didn't put Uncharted in your list.
I could have said Valkyria Chronicles. I thought was also a fantastic SRPG game.
Yeah, that's another exclusive game. Yeah,
exclusives.
But I think that's also the strength of the PlayStation is that its best games were its exclusives. Much like how Nintendo's best games are its exclusives, but the PlayStation has the benefit of having multi-platform games.
A lot of exclusives and multi-platform games.
Multi-platform games, which Nintendo unfortunately lacks.
Oh well, I don't think.
That's true.
Can I say lacking? Like Nintendo's like a full roster of like exclusive, like Wario.
They're banking on
Mario,
exclusive.
Peach.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
I mentioned one franchise.
Sony has exclusives and multi-platform. Nintendo has exclusives and
no multi.
Well,
barely
any multi-platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So you mix. You don't have okay, fine. Just no exclusives.
In terms of exclusives,
whatever you like. What is your favorite game?
For exclusives, I only have one, which is Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme Versus. It's It's a arcade game that has a PS3 version, which is the only home console version you can get.
Wait, so it's not an exclusive?
I don't know. Guess not then. So yeah, I have no exclusives for PS3 that I can recommend.
Wait, okay.
So
that's unfortunate.
I guess my list would be Bayonetta, GTA 5, and Ultimate Marvel 3.
Even Bayonetta, even though like it was kind of given a bad review on the PS3 as opposed to the
frame rate issues and all that.
Yeah, but I just love the game.
All right.
Okay,
fair enough.
I don't got no exclusives for the PS3.
Well, Sabaga, you actually got a PlayStation 3 for the Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Everybody has their own reasons. We're gonna cut this short now.
It's all about the video games.
It's all about the video games and the wireless
video games.
We're gonna cut it short here. Next week we're gonna talk about Xbox 360. Its own histories, how it started off. It pretty much kickstarted the whole current gen. And I think next week it's going to be the release of the Xbox One.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's about perfect actually. By the time we go for episode 11, the Xbox One should be out in the US. So that's going to be interesting because the Xbox One has a way interesting lineup.
Launch lineup.
Yeah, it has like Dead Rising 3,
Killer
Forza,
Instinct, yo.
Killer Instinct, Rise, which is horrible by the way. But yeah, if you want to check out our Nintendo coverage, check out the previous episode 9, and we will have Microsoft next. Do check out our blog site if you want any reviews or want to see the previous episodes, because we actually had a guest recently, and we had we did a horror month. We had
a whole month on horror, yeah.
Well, horror, yeah.
3 episodes, I think.
Yeah, so do check that out. We're also in iTunes, so do definitely subscribe, and then get yourself updated. But if you want to check out more of our reviews and all that, do check out www.toomuchgaming.com. That's 2 with the number 2. And Miggy, I keep forgetting. Like he's doing also some Let's Plays. We actually did one recently with Trying to.
Yeah, we have to finish
that
actually.
Should be up within the week.
Yeah, we have to finish up within the week. TMG blog, or
yep.
The
main channel is youtube.com/TMG blog.
Yeah, there, and that's about it, I guess.
Yep.
Right?
We'll see you guys next week, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Have fun, enjoy. Keep gaming. Bye-bye.